Call the meeting to order. The first thing on the agenda is review and approve the minutes of October 12th.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of the meeting from October 12th as written.
I'll second that.
All in favor? New business. Discussion action on 2024 budget request.
Well, because you're an elected board, you get to make the request as to what you want for next year's budget. You didn't use a lot of your budget, so what you don't use lapses into the general fund. So you would need to renew anything that you want. I know that you folks have been trying to focus on training and things like that. The other thing is it's appropriate that when you are traveling to Portland or Augusta or whatever, that you folks might want to consider mileage reimbursements, which is fair for. Well,
Do we go line by line? Is that what you?
Seminars and training. Actual was $70. Was that for that last thing in Portland?
thing in Portland was free, so this would have been 2 training probably from Maine Municipal Association.
Travel.
Looks like we need to increase the travel.
Right, that was just 2 trips to Portland, yeah. Now that event won't happen, but there's likelihood that you might have one there.
Mhm. Should we leave the seminars and training at 350 and maybe put in 200 for the travel, just to cover?
Okay, 200 for the travel. The next one is office supplies. 2023 budget was $50. I just soon leave it at $50.
Sounds reasonable.
Postage. We had 2023 appropriated last year for postage. We used 2130. Go with $100 again.
Sounds good.
Professional services, we appropriated $1,000. And we used nothing.
What is that for?
So you can, if you're working on an ordinance
Mhm.
or something like that, then we can consult with some of the KV cog. The Council of Governments, and they do planning assistance and ordinance review.
Oh,
And so we had kind of left it in there. I think that's maybe residual from when we did the solar revision. We had thought that we would need some funds, and then the marijuana regulation, you never know.
so it's good to keep it in there for,
I mean, I think so.
We also had attorneys with when we were doing waste management.
Mhm.
There wasn't a charge for that.
There is, but it goes against their escrow account, so they gave us $10,000.
oh, so they paid for it, right?
Yeah, so it's rare that you would have a legal expense.
What about with Bruce and the attorney?
So we're not gonna talk about specific instances, but if the select board elects to proceed with legal enforcement action, customarily that would come out of either a legal reserve account, which is a larger reserve from the town, or it would come out of the code enforcement budget.
It would be a lot of planning.
Right, yours would be largely just like that. You're gonna send a letter to somebody and you want a lawyer to review it, or you know, it's a difficult situation usually, where you would need it. Well, the other thing is having an attorney review your ordinance after the planner has done it.
So maybe keep the 1,000 in there,
Yeah.
just in case. But then we have legal.
Legal. I just can keep it 500. Transfer to contingency.
That's just a line if you overspend that the select board can vote to cover off that over expenditure. So you'll see in 2022, that was the development of the solar amendments. Where you drove the legal bill. We used just an attorney instead of a consultant.
So leave it right at 0.
Yeah.
So that does it, right?
It should, we don't typically budget revenues
Right,
for the planning board because you just don't know. But you can see what you have this year for revenues. But you look at 2022, what the planning board had for revenues, and do you really want to play with that?
yeah, that's,
Yeah,
do we make a motion to? I make a motion to accept the budget request that as discussed,
And that's gonna total up to $2,200.
$2,200
Expense,
total.
0 revenue.
Mhm.
I'll second that.
all in favor? Anybody, public comment? Any other business?
I don't have any formal business, just to give you an update. 2 days ago, I received an application for construction on the Stoughton Road. This is the one that the select board had moved against in terms of violations. Shoreline primarily. It was exempted from the floodplain, so that's it. I don't know the number exactly, but it's the concrete plant on Stoughton.
Oh, yeah,
So we've got those 2 structures that are really, they cover materials and equipment. We've received the complete application, we've received the fees, and so that will be on your January 11th as well. Or at least your January 11th, and then there's a possibility that you'll see a approximately 14 by 36 pre-built shed. On the north side of the river, there's the landowner that in order to bring that in, it needs to come to you folks for floodplain and shoreline consideration as well. So I'm not sure if we'll see that in January, but if the timeline for the property owner holds, then it would be prudent for them to come in January and present that to you.
okay.
How long does it have to be in front of the plant for you? 10 days or 2 weeks?
I always just say the Wednesday before. I'm sure there's a more formal rule, but
I mean, I have no idea.
I send hackets out usually the Wednesday or Thursday before at the latest. But we didn't have anything on the horizon.
No, it's quite often, when you do have a meeting. You have it on molten.
Right.
I give you a drive too early in the morning.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting,
I second.
all in favor?